From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from some place even higher. Ramblers are, ramblers are. I can touch, I can feel, I can hear and see so much more than a fantasy. I can run, I can jump, I can dance and sing. Believe in yourself and do anything.
Believe in yourself and do anything.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, but from some place even higher. Ramblers are, ramblers are. I can walk, I can talk, I can listen and learn as the wheels in my mind begin to turn. But I'll never forget what you've given to me. The power to touch, feel, hear and see.
The power to touch, feel, hear, and see.
Now there've been skies, but not like this one. They always seem too high to touch. Dreams are real and they've just begun. They're yours if you want them that much.
Some people put off for tomorrow the dreams that they open for today. It is now, and we're proud to say we're reaching out to touch the sky.
La 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 la. Close your eyes, concentrate, let your imaginations fly. We'll journey through a cosmic state. We're reaching out to touch the sky.
Some people put off for tomorrow the dreams that they are hoping for today. The time is now, and we're proud to say we're reaching out to touch the sky.
I'm searching high, not low, as high as the mind can go. I feel the breeze, it's heading our way. Hold on to your dreams, hold on to today. We've got it all and I believe it's right. Sharing our dreams and our passions under sky shining bright. We've got it all. Day and night. Do you remember not long ago visiting dreams?
Who wouldn't know I'd be the one here by your side, holding your hands, being alive. We've got it all and I believe it's right. Sharing our dreams and our passions under sky shining bright. We've got it all. Day and night.
This medallion shining bright brings a warmth in me. The adventures that we shared tells me that you're real. You're real.
In your heart I live. soon. I feel the breeze heading our way. Hold on to your dreams, hold on to today.
We got it all, and I believe it's right. Sharing our dreams and our passions. Sky shining bright, we got it all. Day and night.
Ask your questions, even if there are no simple answers. Don't be satisfied to settle with your past adventures. Just remember what was there. Looking for the future days. So exciting we could share. Oh, this treasure friendship really is care. Treasure friendship.
What does it take to build a friend? A little bit of trust and advice to lend. I need a friendship, I know that's true. Just like the friendship I have with you. Just like the friendship you have with me. Yes, just like the friendship I have with you. Together we can make him be exactly like our fantasy, with bits and parts and faithful hearts, creating Rem Lazar. What does it take to build a friend? A little bit of trust and advice to lend. I need a friendship, I know that's true. Just like the friendship I have with you. Just like the friendship you have with me. Yes, just like the friendship I have with you.
I'm a computer.
I'm a computer.
I'm a computer, a lean machine. I got the power if you know what I mean. The latest model, new circuits and chips.
How's everyone doing?
With the program, computers are it. Don't you know I'm superior?
Bumble Homestead, thanks for 37 months.
So much better than you.
I think that catches us up.
Simply put, superior.
I like the hammer pants on the computer. It's a good look. In fact, Hammer stole it from this computer. This computer should be in tax debt. Not Hammer Pants guy, MC Hammer. I just said it.
Faster than
And the
you.
pants are named after him, so.
Facts like 2 + 2. I come up with more memory. Know every subject
I'm good.
from A to Z. Don't you know I'm superior?
I like weird bullshit like this. What's wrong with my brain?
Simply put, superior.
What the fuck is this? What is happening?
I will be on in within me.
Oh, don't pick her up. That's a weird thing to do. Alright. Get your bingo cards ready. We're playing bingo today.
Superior.
How much money does Hannah receive per week from George Soros? Not enough. Not enough. I'm gonna become an ANCAP soon if I don't get a raise. Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday. I hope your week's going well so far. Get your bingo cards ready if you'd like. If we do a level 5 hype train, I'll put on my tinfoil. If we get a level 10 hype train, I'll put on the maid outfit. You guys know how it is. Or, you know, the $100 tip thing. Okay, so let's get into it. Oh boy. Okay, QAnon the musical exists. This is brief. I will be looking for the whole thing. This is the only clip. There was one other short clip that I found, but this is the only other clip I had. So once the entirety of this becomes available, I'd love to watch it with all of you, of course. But here's just one bit from the QAnon musical.
There will come the day when things will go our way.
I do not believe this is ironic, by the way, because in the front row are actual Q people. Like Q influencers. So I think this is at some convention for weirdos. Stromboli says, tinfoil-related PSA against underage drinking. Oh god, what is it?
Megan drinking apple juice. And vodka.
Oh god, oh no, I've seen this. Oh no, 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 this is horrifying. I'm not even gonna play it. We're not doing those vibes today. Because I know how that video ends. And I'm not gonna give you a free 9/11 out of nowhere space.
The righteous will seize the day.
When evil will dissipate. Kids can go and play, safe from pedophilia.
Okay, we gotta... I don't mean to, like, do this. I know that there are so many other things to talk about in regard to this, but can we talk about how bad of a line it is? Let's go. Kids can go and play.
Safe from pedophilia.
Kids can go and play safe from pedophilia? Emily Dickinson would be ashamed of that. That's not even a slant rhyme. You just, like, abused that word into forcing it into that rhyme. Terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. Not the most shameful thing about this, but it's pretty close. It's up there.
Make a world a better place. Join QAnon today. QAnon and on, QAnon and on and on.
However, QAnon and on is a fucking awesome chorus for a QAnon musical. I will give them a point for that. Like, of course, that's a line. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That works.
When you know where you belong, QAnon and on and on.
That's a little bit of an earworm. Look at that guy dressed as a donkey. I assume he's supposed to be Democrats. So that's the only clip I have of it currently. I'm hoping the entire thing because it looks like it was filmed. So if we can get the entire thing, we'll watch it on stream. That'll be great.
I have a very hard time believing that we aren't participating in some sort of mass awakening when you have Jim Caviezel saying things like this on Steve Bannon.
Jim Caviezel is an actor. Like, no offense to him, but what expertise do you believe he has that he's giving you information that the general public doesn't know? He played Jesus in one thing, and I don't even know what else he's done other than be a QAnon weirdo lately.
Where is our Pope? Why is he not speaking out when poor Catholics are being ripped to kingdom come from the FBI?
What are you talking about?
These are the things that are going on in there. It's like a tent.
Last I checked, the FBI wasn't going out of their way to find Catholics for anything. And also, last I checked, the current president of the United States is Catholic.
The octopus with arms, it's many, many arms, but you gotta go after the head of the octopus in this one.
Octopuses have 8 arms, Jim Caviezel. You can say 8. You don't have to say many and many. We know how many arms octopi have.
Who is it? The central banks, the IMF, the ECB, the private West central banks, the Biz, the Rothschild banks.
Thinly veiled anti-Semitism on the bingo card, and QAnon claimed as a source for the musical earlier.
We have a Rothschild Pope.
What does that even mean? Found a woo-woo conspiracy theorist? Thanks for the link. I'll check it out later.
And there are great Americans out there that are fighting right now. Fighting with all their hearts, but they don't have a voice. So I'll be that voice. I saw what John the Baptist did. I think about
Jim Caviezel's crazy, by the way, for those who don't know, so that's unfortunate. All right, let's take a look at what you just sent. It looks like a short, so that's fine. Let me turn it down a little. I think it was a little loud. Here's the thing with shorts. If you take the shorts out and change it to watch in the URL,
Jesus is real.
It'll make it an actual YouTube video, which is so much better. Oh my god. Oh god, we knew this was coming. Is it the DeSantis thing? Florida Governor DeSantis will announce he's running for president during a Twitter Spaces discussion with Elon Musk on Wednesday night. So is Elon Musk going to be backing DeSantis? Are we doing Trump versus Team Elon and DeSantis? Oh my god, no. You have to be a natural born American citizen in order to be the president. So he couldn't pick Elon Musk to be his running mate. Unless they tried to go to the court over that. But the Constitution says you have to be someone who was born in the United States, not a naturalized citizen. So he couldn't be the VP or president without some serious litigation.
Real name is Yeshua. First of all, he was a real person that did exist. I've been to the house where he grew up in Egypt. If you look,
I'm sorry, what?
Jesus, his real name is Yeshua. First of all, he was a real person that did exist. I've been to the house where he grew up in Egypt.
Okay, two things. First of all, no one knows the house Jesus lived in. That was 2,000 years ago. We don't even know if the guy literally existed, much less where his house was. There are no houses from 2,000 years ago where he grew up. Second of all, he didn't grow up in Egypt? Jesus did not grow up in Egypt. What are you talking about?
If you look,
nowhere in the story of the Bible does it say Jesus was raised or born or even went to Egypt. That didn't happen. Not in the text, at least. Hydrate.
Look at the Sumerian tablets, you discover that these virgin births were not unusual. They were experimenting in these types of in vitro fertilization techniques where they would take an egg and put it in the womb, not their egg, another woman's egg. I think he's half human, half Atlantean. That's my personal opinion. Well,
God damn it! Atlantis on the bingo card. Jesus was from Atlantis. That's why he had gills.
He himself said he's not of this world, which means he's an alien. Okay, that's the definition. I believe.
Aliens on the bingo card? Wait, are Atlanteans aliens now? Because Atlantis is kind of the opposite of space, right? It's under the water. Was Atlantis like a tiny planet that crashed into the ocean? I'm confused about his views on Atlantis. Yes, aliens on the bingo card.
That he was a chosen one, and I think the real mission was to bring a certain level of Christ consciousness, which
no, not only reputable sources the Bible, because he referenced some Sumerian tablets for evidence, so he is expressly using sources outside of the Bible.
Existed before Jesus Christ, that terminology ever came to be, where they're all knowing, all loving,
You know what? You're right. I'm sorry. There was the flight to Egypt that happened. I forgot about that story. My bad. KBS 666 says Jesus goes to Egypt in Matthew 2:13. Everyone's going to correct me, rightfully so. Elminato says Atlantis once floated like Angel Island from the Sonic series.
They're the epitome of service to others and unconditional love for one another. And Jesus never said he was going to return. He said the Christ would return. And he's talking about the consciousness coming back to this planet and raising everyone.
It's like the Avatar. It's not like the same person, but it's like the same spirit of goodness. Or like the hero from Legend of Zelda.
One up to a high level.
The spirit of the hero reincarnated in different young boys in green tunics.
And bringing back a new golden age.
Or like Hylia. It's like Hylia reincarnating as Zelda. Or Demise becoming Ganon somehow. Anyway. That's a good one. Hey, what's Chris up to?
Good morning, good evening.
Briar Rose 1984 with 100 bits says, looks like you need to do some more Bible Reloaded, Hannah. Yeah, I'm sure that'll happen.
Good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's 5/21, 2023. You know, I mean, this is so obvious, this shit. You know, I mean, I can't believe nobody's even brought this up. I mean, this is like the scenario of the...
But Link wears a blue tunic in Breath of the Wild. Not my version of Link, because I hate that blue tunic. Here's what I hate. I talked about this the other day. The tunic in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, excellent. I love it. I love that it has a little Master Sword design on the neckline. It's a great design. Why is it blue? Why is it blue? Why is it blue? Link's main outfit in every single Legend of Zelda game since 1989 has been green. Oh god, I'm turning into Chris Chan. This is just the Sonic Blue Arms conversation. Oh god. You can't... I would even be okay. I'm okay with it being green by default, or blue by default. You can't even dye it. That's like one of the outfits you can't dye green. They don't let you dye it at all. Fuckers. Sorry. Okay. Overthought says, out of nowhere with a link. Oh, Jesus.
Fucking Aquaman!
Mr. Whiskers says, blue and green are the same color in Japan, maybe? I don't think that's how colors work. I don't think that's how colors work at all. Oh, we're on a hype train. How nice. 24% to level 1. You guys know the rules about level 5 and level 10, respectively.
Chicken or the egg. Okay. What came... You know the nearest destination. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be.
Sume demands maid costume, so I guess a bunch of people have to get us to level 10.
CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's 5/21, 2023. You know,
some cultures do treat blue and green as the same. That's disgusting.
This is so obvious, this shit.
I'm joking, I don't care. That's interesting.
You know, I mean, I can't believe nobody's even brought this up. I mean, this is like the scenario of the chicken or the egg. Okay? What came first?
Eggs. We actually know that. We know for a fact eggs came before chickens. Chickens came as a classification long after other creatures already laid eggs. So eggs came first. Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs. Appreciate you as always.
Chicken or the egg? We don't know.
We do know. It's eggs.
And we never will.
We know now. It's eggs. Eggs come before chickens. Like taxonomically, the classification of the bird that is the chicken, that thing came after other creatures already existed that laid eggs.
But what came first?
The egg.
Water or ice?
Ice is water? Ice is water. It's just water in a solid state, but it's like the same thing. It's the same thing.
Tell me, what came first?
Chris, they're the same thing.
Do you know? No, you don't. No,
Starry Beauty with 100 bits gets us over level 3 of the hype train.
Don't know what came first. Sure, the scientists will tell us water was created by our clouds.
Chris, do you know what the water cycle is? Clouds don't create water. Clouds, again, are water. Clouds are water. They're not water factories. They're water vapor. Clouds are water.
Storm.
Eventually it condenses enough that it falls as rain or other condensation. But clouds are water.
That they... All right.
Terradona, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs.
Another video for that one. But water was created here on this supposed Earth that we live on of billions and billions of years of rain. And that's what created water.
He's so fucking stupid. Chris, no, water had to get here first for there to be clouds. God damn it. 8% to level 5 on the hype train.
This basically represents 70 over 70% of this world you live on. Unfortunately, 95% of it is a saline solution, which means you can't drink it. It's like brackish water.
You can just say salt water. I'm pretty sure saline is like a specific, like, you can just say it's salt water. That's fine.
If you want to look at it that way. It's not digestible. So if you want to go visit Antarctica, well, you're going to have to, unfortunately, bring everything you need in your battleship to go down there.
Yeah, there aren't stores and stuff in Antarctica, so you need to take stuff there because there are no natural resources to get from there. Because there aren't, like, people there living long term. It's not how it works, Chris. Do you know where stuff comes from? Societies where people live and produce things based on the resources they have access to. They don't have any in Antarctica, so people just go there for scientific stuff, or exploration, or cruises. NetCirc 1987, thanks for gifting a sub. 24% to level 5.
Or you can spend the $20,000 and go down to Antarctica and be chaperoned.
Does it cost $20,000? How much does it cost for... One sec. Let's look up. How much does it cost for an Antarctic cruise? I don't know how much cruises cost in the first place because I have no interest in ever going on a cruise. They're terrible for the environment and also just petri dishes on the sea, so I have no interest in going on a cruise. Let's see. Antarctic cruise prices. Let's take a look. How much does it cost? Oh, he's not that far off. Okay. Well, it depends. Like, a cheap one is $6,000 to $14,000. So he's not that far off. The average does look about 20. God damn, rich people, what are you doing? Bumble Homestead with 100 bits says, book by this summer for your free norovirus.
Like a penguin.
Oh yeah, that's insane for a vacation. That just straight up shouldn't exist.
Okay. And check everything out. Sure. They're not going to let you run around down there and invest.
Chris, if you ran around in Antarctica, you know what you would see? Ice and snow. It's a desert. There's nothing to see for you. Scientists have things that they study down there, but, like, you're not a scientist. So what are you going to look at? 44% to level 5.
Investigate it. No, you can't do that down in Antarctica. They're going to tell you exactly where you can and cannot go. And there goes your $20,000. The only treaty that has ever been signed that every single country on this little place that we live on.
That's not far from what it costs to go to the Galapagos Islands. I thought only scientists were allowed in the Galapagos. Can you pay to go to the Galapagos Islands? Because that I at least understand, because it's like a pristine, untouched environment that's beautiful and you'll see different animals and stuff. Antarctica's just like, again, it's interesting, but like $20,000 to go be like, yeah, that's a lot of fucking ice. And it's cold. Not worth it.
Is an agreement.
Just under a minute left in the hype train, almost to level 5.
You can't go down there. You can't do anything. You can't own this land. Meanwhile, all this land is being fought after that I'm driving by right now. Somebody wants to buy that land and open up a 15-minute city. You know, somebody...
Chris, do you know why property in New York is valuable and property in Antarctica isn't? Because in New York, there are A, resources, and B, customers if you're a business. If you're someone who's a resident, then you can build a house there or have a house there. Like, I don't understand how you don't understand this. People want to live around things and other people. So... Sorry, I was just looking at something on the chat. So there's demand, thus there's a price for it, right? Higher than whatever. Antarctica, there's nothing there. Why would you want property there? You're not allowed to extract resources there, even if you found oil or something due to the Treaty of Antarctica. So, like, no one's there except for scientific reasons. Thanks for the level 4 hype train, everyone. Not quite level 5. So I'm safe for now. But thank you, everyone. Whistle34 with 250 bits says, someone just bought a plot of sand in Dubai for 34 million. Dubai is stupid, and their mega city plans are ridiculous. Have you guys seen the Line City that they want to build in Dubai? Oh my god. Idiots. Mr. Whisker says, Galapagos is covered in trash like the rest of the planet. Don't depress me on my own stream. I do well enough myself.
He wants to buy this and open up a little, mansion over there. But
wow, your mansion in Antarctica, what's that going to do for you, Chris? You're going to freeze to death because there's no power? Like, what are you going to do?
Yet, nobody has ever touched Antarctica.
People go there, Chris. There are bases there where scientists are. But again, why would you, random asshole, want to go?
Back to water. Sometimes I get in these little tangents.
Did I see your bits message earlier? I'm not sure. Let's see. Sorry if I missed it. Where was it? The blue tunic is what linked Breath of the Wild to the Zelda timeline through Hyrule Warriors. Haven't you seen Game Theory? No. I don't watch Game Theory because I find it obnoxious.
What came first? The liquid H2O or the ice? But if ice came first, then...
Chris, they're literally the same thing. It's just the state that they're in. It would depend upon the temperature that they were at when they came into existence. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't water have to create ice?
So water and ice are the same thing.
What came first? Think about it. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.
It's like he thinks water is an ingredient in ice. It's not. It just is. They're the same thing. They're just shaped differently at the molecular level. You found a Biden thing. It's supremely cursed. Oh boy.
Hi everyone. So it's Friday night. I'm getting ready to go out. I'm feeling tired. But before I go out, I got a pregame. And the only way I pregame is with an ice cold Bud Light. So good. Happy Friday.
Jesus Christ. Deep fakes and AI things are just going to continue to be the bane of my existence for the next 20 years.
Why would they have a episode on Bewitched where there is a Susie Bruisey doll? When you squeeze her, she gets bruised. It happened when Samantha, the witch on Bewitched, she goes to the North Pole and takes this grinchy old man, a grunchy man or whatever he is, and he's trying to shove the doll in there, and Santa Claus hollers out, "Be careful with that doll. It's a Susie Bruisey."
I say 20 years because maybe I'll be able to retire then.
Doll.
I'm sure it'll be someone else's problem after I give up.
Squeeze her and she gets bruises.
Steven J. Neptune Man says, so is it safe to assume that Chris just has flat earth thoughts consume his brain 24/7 because he's driving and he just had to record himself? Yeah, I think it's fair to say.
Check it out, you all. This is wild. I didn't really get to watch that at all, that series. Growing up, we were sheltered. But
I own Bewitch.
That
Fuck.
right there.
I didn't do that intentionally. I'm compulsively and unable to not mention when I own things on Blu-ray. I own Bewitched on Blu-ray, so Hannah mentions Blu-rays on the bingo card.
Stuck out in my mind. I thought, what on earth? This is a Susie Bruisey doll. I saw this on an episode of Bewitched while waiting in the doctor's office.
The red bag right there.
I'm sorry I'm not my usual ho-ho self this year, but it's been a very hard winter. One thing after another with the elves.
Oh, dear. Well, you can rest next month. Yeah, take a trip. Maybe a couple of weeks in Florida.
Easy with that doll, Mr. Mortimer. That's a Susie Bruzy doll. When you squeeze it, it turns black and blue. It's the only one of its kind in the world.
Okay, so Gina is confused by this scene. Let me explain, Gina. Root Fake, thanks for 29 months, says, hi, Hannah and Stanas. Guess who finally got her endo appointment for HRT? That's awesome. That's rad. Okay, so Gina, this is what we call in the business a joke. Did you notice how the canned studio audience laughter happened after they said, that's a Susie Bruzy, and she turns black and blue when you squeeze her, and then there was the laugh track? That's to indicate to you, as the audience, that a joke has just happened. Now, typically, I've been of the opinion that laugh tracks are stupid, and I hate them, but apparently, they are necessary for some. The joke here is that this was the 1960s, so dolls that were, like, gimmicky dolls, like Talkie Tina from Twilight Zone, the idea of, like, a talking doll, or a doll that wets itself, or a doll that cries, or a doll that poops, these were new, right? These were new kinds of dolls. So this is a joke to parents in the 1960s. Hey, aren't dolls that do all sorts of weird bodily fluid things funny? Wouldn't it be weird if there was a doll that got bruised? That's the joke. It's taking a look at a trend in toys in the 1960s and making fun of it. It's a joke. I can't believe I've just spent like 3 minutes explaining a joke from a sitcom in the 1960s. But there it is. The joke is the ridiculousness of creating dolls that are more and more realistic.
Oh, Santa, I know a little girl who just loved that.
Oh, really? Should I guess, or do you want to tell me?
This is ridiculous. I'm Jesse Mortimer of Mortimer Soups, and I demand to be taken home.
Jesse Mortimer, I don't remember ever having dropped down your chimney.
So Gina's doing great. Oh, she had another sing-along, or dance-along, rather. So that's nice. In fact, the Locomotion is the only song to be in the Hot 100 3 times in 3 separate decades. The 50s, the 60s, and I believe the 70s, might be the 80s, all had a version of the Locomotion on the Hot 100. Anyway, let's take a look at the bingo card. That's a Casey Kasem fact for you. Okay, what did we have so far? Recordian car. Nick Snort, thanks for 35 months. 1980s, you're right. So it must have been the 50s, the 60s, and the 80s. Because I remember the version that shows up in Honey, I Blew Up the Baby. That must have been the one from the 80s. Because that's the first time I heard that song. QAnon claimed as a source, or the musical... Atlantis? Aliens, because that guy thought aliens were... or Atlanteans were aliens, or something? Good enough. And... thinly veiled anti-Semitism. Hannah mentions Blu-rays. Because I'm predictable. Did Chris actually mention Flat Earth? Because I don't think he did. Like, he mentioned stuff about ice, but he never actually said flat Earth or anything, right? Okay, I think that's it. I don't think the title counts. I don't think if it's in the title it should count. I think it should only count if it's in the video. Hey, Hans Wormhat, how you doing?
So this is going to be a fun video. I don't know why, but I've been feeling kind of Christmas and in the summer vibes recently. And no, I'm not that into, I don't like celebrating Christmas, but there's something Masonic about the idea of when people celebrate Christmas in the middle of summer.
Why? What's Masonic about that? Also, Mason's on the bingo card, and I guess I have to put this on the list of, like, Freemason stuff. Hold on. Christmas in July is satanic. Oh my God. Let's see. Christmas in July. Juki. Whoops. July. There you go. Here's your list.
Just something Masonic about that idea, and I've been getting those.
Like, he's not even, like, giving an explanation at this point. He's just vibing. He's like, this just has the vibe of masonry.
Vibes recently, and
he literally said it.
Something Masonic about that idea, and I've been getting those vibes recently.
I was joking.
And
I don't even need to be here for Hans' videos. He makes fun of himself.
So this is going to be a video. Somebody actually sent me an email asking for one of my old videos where I told a story about a penis pump. And for one of my old videos where I told a story about a penis pump.
Austin Danger Powers in larger pump.
Dread Pirate Mix says, does this make Australia Masonic for celebrating Christmas in summer, or does Hans just not believe in Australia? I don't know if he believes in it, but I guarantee he doesn't know that the seasons are reversed in the southern hemisphere. I can't imagine he knows that.
And so I'll say that story again in this video. And what this video is going to be about, I'm going to describe a family that I knew growing up who now that I know about conspiracy stuff and I've learned things about Freemasonry, I know that this family is a Freemasonic family. They just exemplify a Freemason family. And so maybe you know families like this. And what this has to do with just truths that have been revealed over these past years of looking at a conspiracy is that the way that this place operates is that there's levels, and there's certain people that they know that everything is fake, but they go along with it. There's an aspect of the flash mob. And something that I like to think of is learning the secret to how hypnotism shows work.
Oh God, stage hypnotism isn't real. Mr. Whisker says they aren't reversed though, they're upside down.
The way that hypnotism shows work is that there's always going to be people around who are willing to just go along with the show.
Yeah, basically.
And that's also how this reality works.
The secret is peer pressure, yes.
Always people ready and willing to just blatantly lie and gaslight anybody who's not in the club.
I wouldn't consider stage hypnotism to be gaslighting anyone, okay? Lay off Darren Brown a little.
To have the show continue on. And they know it's fake, but they love just going along with it. And these Freemasonic...
Stage hypnotism is for fun? So, like, it's fine. I'm not mad about it. I'm not super entertained by it, because, like, I get it, but...
families would certainly be a part of the people who know.
I find Darren Brown, some of his stuff is more interesting than others. He's a good magician and entertaining, but, like, when he pretends to, like, hypnotize people to do crazy shit, it's just eye-rolling to me. And again, like I said, I like Darren Brown. I just feel like he gives people a sense of what hypnotism is that is very incorrect. But I guess he's an entertainer, so whatever. Link to this video? Sure. There you go.
People who know that everything in school is basically BS, but they send their children anyways, and I'm sure when they come home and say, "Son, what did you learn today at school?" They're like, "Oh, that BS."
Is my voice quiet? Hold on, I'll check my... What's that? Hello, hello, hello? Am I louder when I do that? What's that one? How's that? Is that a little louder? The gain should be neutral now. I accidentally had the gain down, I think. So that might help a little bit. Switch it back to that. Okay.
I'm sure that's the first thing.
If you guys ever have audio issues like that, let me know. Sometimes stuff like resets or whatever, and I have to screw around with it. So feel free to let me know if I'm too quiet or if the video's too loud.
And that comes out of their mouth. So, yeah, the reason I have the Christmas tree here, I guess I'll just start in, and I'll just start listing off things about this family that I now know. Oh, that's like the way Masons operate. I guess just one thing, the most blatantly obvious thing, is that they are liars. Habitual liars, pathological liars. Have you ever known people that will lie about totally inconsequential things? Something that I always bring up, whenever habitual liars get brought up, my mind immediately goes to the son in this family that I would hang out with. And this one...
Alright, testing. Do I need to turn him up more, or is this okay?
One specific instance.
Him versus me. Is this okay, or do I need to adjust?
I remember getting in his car and seeing, let's say I saw Burger King trash on the ground, and I was like, "Oh, you had Burger King for lunch?" And he was like, "No, I had McDonald's."
It could have been trash that was there from before. Like, I'm not proud of this. But, you know, I have some trash in my car from other things, you know? Fast food I got a week ago or whatever. Just the bag. I eat the food. There's not just a bunch of food in my car. But, you know, I clean it out every once in a while. But that happens. If someone got in my car and was like, "Oh, did you get Burger King today?" If I didn't get it that day, I would say no.
That is the depth of the types of lies that these people will say. It's
the depth of a lie that they didn't go to Burger King. It's not that deep of a lie. That's kind of the definition of a non-deep lie.
I see the Burger King trash on the ground. I could tell it was fresh stuff.
What do you mean you could tell it was fresh? It's a bag! You can look at a bag? Do I say bag like a Midwesterner? Bag. Got a bag on the ground. A bag just looks like a bag on the outside, so no, you can't tell. You cannot tell.
And there's no McDonald's trash anywhere. And
maybe they threw the McDonald's trash away, but they didn't throw away this Burger King trash from the other day.
I ask him, "Oh, you just had Burger..."
Mr. Whiskers says, this wrapper tastes 3 hours old.
Burger King? No, I just had McDonald's. And it's like, the evidence is right there in front of you. And yeah, pathological, the lies. That was just one among many.
I like that his example of them being a compulsive liar was clearly just a misunderstanding on the part of Hans that he delved no deeper into. He was just like, "I'm right, they're crazy, end of story, no more questions needed."
Many things that this person would lie about, and the evidence would be just right there, and they would pretend like it's not.
Was it just a rumor that Burger King was going bankrupt? Hold on, let me look at this. Are they owned by Yum Food Brands, or is that one of the ones they don't own? Burger King bankruptcy. Burger King will close up to 400 stores by the end of the year. Several franchisees have filed for bankruptcy so far in 2023. The popular fast food chain plans to close up to 400 restaurants before the end of 2023. Woof. So they're getting smaller. That's a shame. Burger King's honestly better food than McDonald's in terms of like bottom of the barrel cheap fast food.
So,
but whatever, I get it.
Another thing that now I know is just very in the...
I live in a town with a Five Guys now, and a Culver's, so I'm fine.
Club.
And there's a Red Robin and a Steak and Shake. There are a lot of places, and there's some local places that are not franchises, but just local places that do amazing burgers. There's a couple off the top of my head, but I won't name them, because that would tell you where I am.
Is that... This
Dread Pirate Mick says, Hans is the Sherlock of fast food packaging. It'd make for an extremely niche CBS procedural, 2 seasons.
Person would have...
You guys remember the show The Finder? The fuck was that about? He just found stuff? He got a brain injury and now he just finds things? He's the Finder.
So I was
terrible.
Good friends with this person, and I lived on...
I feel like the Finder felt like a placeholder for whatever the gimmick was. You guys know how different, like, detective procedural shows will have, like, a gimmick. Like, oh, they're a psychic, or they're a fake psychic, or they have OCD, or they write novels about murder, but they're also solving murders. You know, there's a gimmick. It feels like the Finder... There was a placeholder for the gimmick. They're like, he finds stuff. I don't know. That's the placeholder. But they never actually found the thing that he was going to do. So he's just the vague idea of a detective who finds things. It's weird. Yes, there was a backdoor pilot from it in the show Bones, and it's bad. First Name Bunch of Numbers says, Culver's and Steak and Shake, you're living the dream. True. Very true. Hello, my love. I can hear you. How you doing? I'm good. I'm just streaming with a couple hundred of my closest friends.
On the same street as me. But they always had their own group of friends that never really mixed with me. And if we were around one another, obvious preferences for those other friends to the point of snubbing me. And the way that these people keep, out in the open, keep secrets and won't let you in on it is very childish, but they'll continue that on. And I remember that this person was just relentless about never letting me in on inside jokes.
This just feels like Hans's entire conspiratorial identity is based around him feeling like he's been left out of other things. That's depressing.
And even though we were supposed to be good friends, it was just a thing that he really liked having these inside jokes. And even if I would figure them out through context, he would just continue to deny that I had figured it out.
Maybe you were just wrong. Like, maybe you're just paranoid and have delusions about things happening around you. What's that?
The way
Gotcha.
that these people are. Like, they have their super secret friend club, and they purposefully make you feel like you're not in it and exclude you out of it. It's not normal human behavior. The pathological line...
In-group, out-group behavior is actually incredibly uncommon in humans. So no, you're wrong. Although I am sad. It's like he's pathologized his sense of being a loner and outside of the in-group to such an extent that he's delved into all of these conspiracies that further make him feel as though he is outside of the entirety of society and that secretly society is being run in a way that he doesn't understand. Which, in fairness, I think he really doesn't understand the world, but, you know, for different reasons than he thinks. He thinks it's a secret. In reality, he's just delusional. But he thinks that it's all being kept from him because he's not good enough or just not on the right team or whatever. It's interesting how transparent people can be about their own, like, mental state.
Is not normal behavior, and big red flags for these Masonic people. So here I'll tell an instance of psyops. So honestly, the funniest person I ever met in my life was my friend's sister. She was hilarious. And I didn't know at the time, but we would go driving around basically pulling psyops on people.
Psyop on the bingo card. Why does Hans think he was perpetrating psyops on people? Whistle 34 says, isn't that the same logic incels use to claim women are withholding sex from them? Close enough, I guess.
Small, just little things. Probably a stretch to even call them psyops, but one thing that she would do, we'd go to, say, Target parking lot, open up the window and find somebody and say, where's Payless? How do I get to Payless? And as the person starts describing directions, she would repeat back the directions, but totally wrong.
That's not a psyop, that's a prank, Hans. That's a prank. That's teenagers being teenagers, which is, silly and dumb, but that's what teenagers do, It is what it is. Everyone does dumb, weird, immature stuff when you're a teenager.
But just pretending to be...
It's not... I wouldn't call that morally wrong. It's just like, kids being silly.
Be serious. So they'd say, oh, well, you got to turn around first. And she'd say, oh, so I got to keep going forward and then to the right?
Hey, honey. I'm aware what you're thinking. I'm keeping a close eye on this. I'm aware. I know the mic is muted. I'm allowed to have private conversation.
Yes, you are. I love you.
Love you too.
So she was just having fun, playing serious, but just totally, lying, of course. But
yeah, that can be Hannah flirts with Baja on the bingo card.
Pretending to not know what she's talking about. And another story very similar to that is, I remember this person stopping their car at a red light and turning on the hazards and opening up the hood and pretending to be having car troubles.
Again, that's not a psyop, that's a stupid prank. That's an asshole prank, too. That's not even like... I think a prank is only funny if when the person finds out it's a prank, they also laugh, right? A prank isn't just annoying someone. A prank should be something that once it's revealed to the prankee, they also are like, that's funny, right? This isn't that. You're just annoying people. You're just impeding people. And frankly, you're just being dangerous on the road. Having any sort of unexpected thing like that on the road increases the chance of accidents for everyone. And I get it, teenagers are dumb, they don't think about consequences, their brains literally aren't developed yet. I get that. But Hans, it's still a prank. A stupid, immature, bad prank that isn't funny, but it's still just a teenager trying to do a prank. It's not a psyop. It's just a dick move.
Even though the car was running perfectly fine. But she just got a kick out of being crazy like that. And I would now consider that a psyop, where somebody is doing...
His bar for psyops is so low.
Some sort of crazy thing, but none of it's real at all. It's just all being made up. I went to the store and this lady was asking me for directions and she was not understanding anything. That poor lady was like brain dead. Oh, she was just acting. The whole idea of being an actor in real life is just very Masonic.
Hans, It's one of the world's oldest professions. It's not the oldest, but it's one of the oldest. Performing, acting, it's a very human thing to do.
Think of, like I said, flash mobs. It's the same
I do the world's oldest profession, streaming.
Energy of being a part of a flash mob. Oh, what's this wacky, crazy thing happening? Oh, it was a planned event with these people who knew ahead of time. So, yeah, she got a kick out of, I'm going to pretend my car broke down at this intersection. And that's potentially dangerous, obviously. But there you go. Sometimes, have you ever been in a real-life situation where some wild stuff is going down? And it all feels really weird. And you're like, is this even real life right now? It totally could have been a
That has actually never happened to me now.
made-up Masonic event.
Do you mean just a sense of, like, disassociation? I've had disassociation for trauma reasons, but not... I don't know.
I'm gonna keep it to this family in this video, but
Derealization is also a thing. If you're maybe having psychological issues, derealization can be a thing where you feel detached from reality, you feel distant, you feel not connected to yourself, your identity, or your reality. That can be a thing. I don't know if he's describing that.
I've had personal events outside of this family that I now believe that it was just some sort of orchestrated event, because the whole time it didn't feel real and none of the details made sense. These people exist out there that get off on just doing weird stuff because they think it's funny. So I guess I'll tell some of the lies. These people would tell all sorts of lies. The dad loved to tell dad joke type lies. Oh, waves are made from whales jumping in the ocean.
That's not a lie, that's a joke. His bar for what a lie is so low. Jokes are lies now. You fucking liar. The chicken didn't even really cross the road. What is this hypothetical chicken? What are you even talking about?
I remember he liked to play word game,
G-Sock says, was losing my virginity in college a psyop? Yes, that didn't actually happen. Congrats, you're still a virgin.
Ration game.
Every subsequent sexual encounter has also been fake. So, congrats.
Weird memorization games that now seem very Masonic to me. With, like, repeat, he would say something and you'd have to say it back. I mean, this guy was their dad, so this is my friend's dad. Very charismatic, seemed like he knew people. These people didn't live extravagantly, but you feel like the dad knew everybody, kind of thing. And very friendly guy. And probably a Freemason, but I don't know. Not all of these people that know and play the game well, they don't have to be a part of Freemasonry, but they certainly know about it. But this guy probably was a Freemason. I don't know.
So confident that he's just, like, slandering this random guy. Maybe he was, I don't know.
I haven't seen him in a long time. And I didn't used to pay attention to stuff like that. So yeah,
which is why he's so confident in speaking on this now, that he believes this entire family was in a secret society. He didn't pay that much attention, though.
I remember just being told all sorts of lies and kind of trying to spook you lies, too. Do you know people growing up that would tell... How is this kind of thing ubiquitous, that everybody grew up being told all sorts of spooky tales by... Why isn't there anywhere on Earth where it's like people are truthful and don't make up stupid stories to try to spook you?
Because human beings like narratives. Human beings are complicated, emotional beings with competing interests. I don't know, man.
I long for the days where that's not a part of the tradition. Hazing, and this is all Masonic ideas. The hazing and the...
I'm pretty sure hazing probably goes back to pre-humans. Like, I'm talking other apes and hominids probably were doing weird shit.
Making up spook stories. So to get to the point, I remember them making up... this was when the AIDS epidemic was going on. They said that, oh, did you know people are, like, stabbing themselves with a needle and then sticking it in a movie theater? They come up with demented...
Yeah, probably Christians came up with that in order to further stigmatize people with HIV.
do you even come up with that idea?
Speaking of which, I do own a film on Blu-ray called L.A. AIDS Jabber. So that's cool.
That AIDS needles are sticking in movie theater seats. Wacky, but I remember them trying to tell me that over and over to try to scare me of going to the movies or something. It was strange. Stuck with me. I feel like I've got most of it. One more thing before I get to the penis pump story.
I forgot about the penis pump.
Is
that he went off on such a tangent.
I find very interesting is the teen pregnancy thing. I'm sure that a lot of
Ineffable Effort says that this is ubiquitous human behavior, then says it's not normal. Hans, it is quite literally normal human behavior. That's what that means.
You who learned about transvestigation and stuff.
Oh lord, transvestigation / trans phobia on the bingo card.
Scratched your heads at certain people who get pregnant as a teenager, and you're like, how did that happen? Because you don't look like somebody who could get naturally pregnant.
What the fuck does that mean, Hans? You think you have some sort of radar in your head that tells you people's fertility just on visual? What? He's got like a scouter, but instead of power level, it just reads if you're ovulating. Not how women work on the bingo card, yes.
And, of course, the stories that they get knocked up. So I think that some of these people are selected by either if they're a part of some sort of Baphomet organization or Freemasonry, I don't know. But oftentimes it's for the troubled kids, and I think it's part of like a plea deal. I think it's like you either
read the back of the box blurb from LA AIDS Jabber. I'd have to go get it. It's downstairs.
You either pretend to get knocked.
Tell you what, a little later, maybe I'll go grab the box and I'll read it. It's exactly what you think it is. It's like a guy, he finds out he has HIV, I think from blood transfusion or something, and he gets so mad, he decides to start drawing his own blood and sticking it into random people. It's a made-on-shitty-o film from the early 80s, mid-90s, something like that. I haven't watched it. Have I heard of AIDS diet candy? I have.
I've tried.
I love peanut butter AIDS.
Fad diets, powders, pills. Still my weight's been up and down like a yo-yo until the AIDS plan taught me how to take off weight and help keep it off.
AIDS may taste like a candy, but AIDS contains one of the most effective appetite suppressants you can buy, and there's no stimulant in AIDS that could make you nervous.
With AIDS, I ate less, so the weight came off. To help keep it off when I sometimes want things loaded with calories, AIDS helps put me in control.
Let the AIDS plan teach you how to take off weight and help keep it off. Try peanut butter AIDS.
Candy. And I'm not gaining weight. I'm losing weight deliciously with the aid of AIDS. The AIDS diet plan really works.
AIDS candy contains a safe and effective appetite suppressant when used as directed. Helps curb your appetite so you can lose weight. And
yeah, that's just one of those unfortunate things. You couldn't have seen that coming, you know? That's just, you just gotta take the L on that.
Knocked up. Or you're going to juvie. I think that's the kind of situation where they'll pair.
No, that's not from Kentucky Fried Movie.
Or two of these troubled Baffo children together.
Why does anyone else remember Kentucky Fried Movie? Probably the boobs.
And they'll say, well, you guys are gonna have a baby together. And I really think that happens. And so I'm just saying that because somebody in this family had a child really young, and I'm almost certain that that's the situation that it was like almost a punishment or like a shame thing to their family, like your kid screwed up, so now they got selected for the teen pregnancy lottery.
What?
I don't know. Maybe you guys have stories about some suspicious teen pregnancies and strange situations regarding how it happens. But I know that usually these types of girls don't actually get pregnant. There's all sorts of quote-unquote women out there that will swear up and down that they've had 15 abortions, but they actually can't get pregnant at all.
What are you talking about? That's not ibuprofen. I thought I had some.
And that's part of that going along with the fake it till you make it. They'll just lie. They are liars. and if they've had 15 abortions, that means that they're a fertile woman, right? So, anyways.
Does he think women are... I don't even know what he's talking about in terms of people claiming to have had 15 abortions, but he thinks people with 15 abortions are trying to brag about their fertility? What?
Oh, I'll just say the Christmas tree thing, and then I'll do the final story. So the reason that I have the Christmas tree here is because, yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason I've been getting weird Christmas in July type feelings recently. I don't know what that means, but I think maybe just part of time going wacky. Time has been going so wacky, years have lost meaning at this point. People have a general feeling that, like, the years between 2020 and 2022 just didn't exist. What happened? Anyways, the Christmas tree thing. One thing, this kind of goes back to, I feel like the dad knew people. Because I don't get a feeling that he was paying money for these Christmas... Where do you even get a Christmas tree that's so ginormous? So they had
at a tree nursery. Or you can order them, presumably, if you don't live in an area that has tree nurseries.
A 2-story house, modest living, nothing crazy, but a 2-story house with...
Oh, thank you, Whistle34. I'm excited to see what you got me from my wish list. Thank you.
Like vaulted, you know, one section of their house had 2-story ceilings. And every year, they would fit this ginormous Christmas tree in their house. And it's like, where do you even get... I don't even know where you would get a Christmas tree like that.
Or potentially the forest, I guess that's true.
Especially...
You would need quite a large truck to haul it, but yeah.
In California. Now that I live in Oregon, okay, maybe. But it just always amazed me.
Does he know it's a real tree, too? It could be a fake tree. Like, they make big fake trees.
That these people would get... the most ginormous
Don't hate me, but I prefer fake trees.
Christmas tree. And it's like they knew somebody. It's like their dad did favors for somebody, and their favor back to them was to get them a giant Christmas tree every year.
He's a Freemason because he had a big ass Christmas tree. This is an interesting... I see an A and I see a C. The B that's connecting the two, I'm not exactly clear on why those two things are supposed to be connected.
I don't know. It was weird because it just appeared in their house one day and nobody ever...
Friday? Cool, Whistle34. I'll try and open it on stream.
They never really talked to me about how they got it, or... So it's just one of those things. There's some mystery to it that feels very like a Freemasonic family. Anyways, let's get to the final story. One day I was hanging out with my friend and he took me into his brother's room, like, hey, come look at my brother's room. And I remember it was up in the top left corner of the closet. He opened up the closet and was like, hey, look at this. And back then I thought that it was some sort of like smoking device, but then
smoking weed out of your brother's penis pump.
So he pulled it out.
I remember the 90s.
And now I know that it was actually a penis pump.
Now I'm just wondering, was it actually just a bong and now he's somehow convinced himself it was a penis pump? Skefazoa says, I think the 15 abortions thing is from that GOP lie that women get abortions like they're Tic Tacs. Probably.
And at the time, his older brother was like 16 years old. So just the whole situation seems so weird to me.
That just makes me think it was not a penis pump and was like a bong or something. And Hans is just like, for some reason in his psycho brain, like convinced himself it was a penis pump.
At the time, I really thought that he was showing me his brother's like bong or something.
Didn't he say what it was?
And I was like, okay, this is weird. But
did he say, this is my brother's bong? Because that makes way more sense than this is my brother's penis pump. Where does a 16-year-old get a penis pump? I can see a 16-year-old finding a bong. A penis pump?
But nowadays the whole...
Also, don't use penis pumps. They will damage your penis. Do not use penis pumps. They will damage your penis.
Whole situation is just so bizarre to me. Where in the 90s, where does a 16-year-old get a a penis pump, and
that's what I'm saying.
The sexualization of these people, they really do push their Martin and Castrati. Well, Castrati, they don't really tell them to go be promiscuous, but for sure.
MH Dark Beast with a link.
Yeah. One Swedish.
Oh, I literally just showed this clip earlier. We showed it. Chromatic Cuttlefish with 11 months, tier 2, says, I slept through my alarm and missed the start of the tinfoil. Also, damn, that was Hans Wormhat and half a moment to arrive on.
The Martins, they get pushed to go, you know, be a man or whatever. I just think it's weird. Where did this 16-year-old get a penis pump? I feel like an adult would have to get them for that. And also, it just reminds me of the way that they will give them like extra hormones in their teen years. It's all just weird, strangeness. But it actually reminds me of, this is something, maybe I'll have to show it in a video or something. This was happening back in King James time. King James wrote a book on demonology, and I was reading in that book, and it mentions in the book, the demonology book, about witches who had ways of making men unable to be like a man.
He's literally believing like Middle Ages superstition and witches making your dick limp. Witches aren't real. If you're having trouble standing at attention, might be a hormonal thing, could be psychological, just an age thing. I don't know. Go see a doctor if you can. If not, let me assure you and make you feel better about this. A witch has not cursed your penis. A witch has not cursed your penis. You feel better? Cool.
Basically, things that would chemically castrate men, and it talked about them having ways of making.
Does this count as forced feminization on the bingo card?
Men have much more manliness, and so clearly, even back in King James time, people were messing with the hormones, and it's a.
We'll call this forced feminization on the bingo card.
Huge aspect today of these families. The ones.
You're right. It's probably closer to sterilization. Sterilization, population control is a motive.
In the know, the way that you can tell the levels, you can usually tell the ones who know about stuff. And there is a level where, okay, now they start plastic surgery and hormone supplements are just a standard part. That's like a higher level. The caste system is still alive and well, and they're quiet about it. Anyways, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. God bless everyone.
His focus on masculinity is interesting too, and let me tell you, as a very masculine person myself, clearly, I know a lot about masculinity. I feel like Hans is really insecure about his own masculinity because he's brought it up many times before in relation to his frame. He felt small when he was younger and felt, I think, less, masculine because of it. And I think that ties into his whole thinking everyone's secretly transgender thing. He not only feels the need to pathologize this feeling he has of being an outsider by ascribing it to some large conspiracy, but because he's also insecure about his gender, him feeling insecure about his masculinity, it seems like that's what's tying in the whole secret transgender thing. Like, he thinks not only am I excluded out group, but he has justified his uncomfortability with his gender identity. He's ascribed that to part of the conspiracy to wrap both of these things into one simplified worldview. It's interesting. I don't know. Let's take a look at the bingo card. Illuminati Freemasons. That's not how women work on the bingo card. Someone cites a study from the 18th or 19th century. Not quite, but I'll count it for him referencing King James. It's a little before that, but sure. And I know it's not like a study, but still. It's the spirit of the same thing. He cited a really old thing. PSYOP. We'll do forced feminization. Spurious symbology is evidence. Okay, I think that's everything on that page. Penis pump should be on the card. Satanic. Did he mention Jezebel? I feel like he mentioned Jezebel or something similar. No, that was someone in chat, actually. Ancient Wisdom. Oopsie. I don't think we got Flat Earth yet, surprisingly. Forced sterilization, population control is a motive. Hannah's exasperated. All she can do is put her head in her hands. I know I did that at one point because I thought about it while I did it. Transphobia, transvestigation. I think that's maybe it. Root fake. Bingo? Is that a bingo already? Jesus. Show me your bingo card if you think you have a bingo. Let's take a look at the bingo card. Ancient Wisdom. Hannah so exasperated. Free space. Forced sterilization. Hannah flirts with Baja. Wow. We're only halfway through the stream and we already got a bingo winner. That's nice. That's nice. Hold on. Let me try and click on your name. You already have a gift sub, so I will, or you already have a subscription, so I will write your name down, which you can redeem whenever you'd like for yourself or for a rando, whatever you would like. Let me get my document open. Donate it. Everyone always says donate it. You guys are nice. You guys are nice. Let me do that. That was a lucky card. I like when that happens. It's fun. And there we go. Branch, I think, unless I'm pronouncing that wrong, gets the gift sub. So that's cool. So we're still playing bingo for fun, but that is the official winner. So congrats. Was it Root Fake? I already forgot. I'm real good at this. It was Root Fake. Congrats, Root Fake, for this week's Tinfoil Tuesday winner for bingo. Let's see what else we got. Do we have anything silly? Or is it all depressing? Oh, we got the Sasquatch lady. That might be interesting. Yeah, sure. Let's watch this lady recount her Sasquatch story.
And now, I'm going to take you where I had my Sasquatch encounter and tell you that story.
There's a squatch in these woods. Any further word on the return of Peter? We need you super happy again. God damn. I'm a weird person. What's wrong with me? No word on it. I'll message him again and see what he's up to. I don't think he's too keen on coming on, but he said he's willing. Mr. Whiskers, thanks for gifting a sub.
Alright, so I want to preface this story by saying that this is just my personal experience. I'm not trying to convince anyone that Bigfoot exists. I don't spend time researching Bigfoot. I am not part of any sort of Bigfoot or Sasquatch groups. I'm not a fanatic. This is just my experience, and I do believe they exist. But I'm not judging anyone based on their beliefs or lack of beliefs. It really doesn't matter to me what anyone else thinks.
It would be hilarious if there's someone who judges you for not believing in Bigfoot. Like, there's gotta be people out there who are like, you know, they were okay, we went out on a first date and things were going really well, but then I found out he didn't believe in Bigfoot. Can you fucking believe the audacity? That must exist, right?
But I do have quite a few people that have asked about this story. Quite a few people that watch my channel looking for signs of Sasquatch in the background, so I thought it'd be fun to share this experience.
She needs to admit she reads Sasquatch porn. Does Chewbacca porn count?
So this
no particular reason.
Story took place about 7 years ago, and I had come here to Boulder with a friend at night. We came after dark. It was dark when we arrived. And I am not currently, nor was I at the time, somebody who was scared of being in the woods at night. I had done a lot of solo night hiking. I was very comfortable in the woods. This is after my time spent living in a tent, so I had many bear encounters, and I had seen cougars, and I was very comfortable with the creatures of the forest and pretty familiar with them. But yeah, the night started out totally normal. We just hung around climbing, and then we were going to build a fire under this rock, as many people do. But before that, we decided to just take a little walk over this way where I'm headed, just to have a look at some other boulders that were there. And it was a quiet night. It wasn't windy. There was nobody else around. So we really hadn't walked far. I'm only about 20 meters past where I started this story. And suddenly I just got a vibe that I should...
It's all vibes. Stop trusting your vibes.
Not be here. I got really freaked out of nowhere. I hadn't heard anything. I hadn't smelled anything. Frank hadn't tipped me off to anything. As far as my outward senses were concerned, nothing had changed. Everything was completely normal. But I just got this massive feeling of dread of like, I should not be here. Something is here. And so I decided that my response would be to make a bunch of noise. So I started clapping and yelling and hey, like, you know.
You know what? I hope that made Bigfoot feel really good about himself. Nice confidence boost. Just out there foraging, and all of a sudden, thank you. No one's been that nice to me in decades.
I just started yelling and making a lot of noise and just figure like if something was there, I would scare it off. And so I made all this noise, and my friend didn't think this was weird because he had also picked up on this vibe. And he was a person that wasn't like a vibes person. Like he wasn't in tune with anything.
Jesus Christ. What does that mean? He's not as susceptible to jumping to conclusions based on his emotional state at the time? Come on.
But he had picked up on it, and so he wasn't alarmed when I just started like yelling and clapping and making a bunch of noise.
He was definitely an idiot for not doing that.
And then I stopped, and everything was silent. And then I just heard, whoa! It sounded like...
And then it turned out it was a brown bear, and as she had intimidated it, it attacked her. She's dead. This is a video made by a ghost. That's the twist.
Like a tree, like this big, like a massive branch or hunk of wood had been like smacked onto a bigger tree and like broke. Like it was this massive wood breaking sound.
You're in the forest where wood regularly breaks because trees age or storms happen which weaken the branches or just whatever. Branches break, trees fall over. That noise is pretty common in the woods. Has she ever been in the woods?
It was not the sound of something stepping on a branch. It was not like the crashing, falling sound of like a big...
If a tree falls in the forest and you're there to hear it, how high do you have to be to think it's Bigfoot?
Branch falling off or a tree falling over.
I kind of stole your joke, Ice Firebird. I apologize. That wasn't intentional.
I have witnessed multiple trees fall over in the forest and heard many branches come down, but it was not one of those. And the sound was way bigger than possible to be any sort of footstep breaking a branch, and there was no other sound associated. It was just this massive whomp of a big piece of wood just breaking. And
is this your primary evidence for Bigfoot? Because I feel like if you're leading with this, is this going somewhere, or was your primary evidence that you heard wood snapping in a location where you are entirely surrounded by pillars of wood?
Grabbed Frank. Frank started barking. I grabbed Frank, and me and my friend and Frank, we got out of there.
Oh, guys, this is a non sequitur, but everyone who was playing Tears of the Kingdom, I found the Master Sword and got it, so that's pretty cool. No spoilers for anyone, but I found it, and I got it.
As quickly as we could, we went back, grabbed our bouldering stuff, and went back down to my van. And I was actually house sitting at the time for Lola's parents, and so I took my friend home, went back to my friend's house, and put on Netflix to like try to relax. It took more than an hour for my nervous system to calm down after that experience. I was so freaked out, more freaked out.
Okay, so you heard a noise and you were freaked out. That's the evidence. That is very vibe-based.
Than I had been when I saw a cougar. More.
Oh, you're gonna love it. Who is that? Oh god, why am I having trouble with his name? Oblivion. You're gonna have a lot of fun with it.
Freaked out than I had been in any bear incident. More freaked out than I'd ever been doing anything outside or night hiking in city parks where there's like predators, like people predators.
She spooks like super easy.
And I was just so freaked out.
Like she's never heard wood cracking loudly in the woods before? Oh, like Vivienne. That makes sense.
Because whatever was there had this ability to control the energy field and make...
Oblivion. Okay, I get it.
Us feel whatever it wanted us to feel. Like it used the energy field to tell us to go away. And then when I challenged it by making a bunch of noise...
Oh, she thinks she scared away a Bigfoot. Here's the thing. If Bigfoot was real, he could kill you. Like, the purported proportions of Bigfoot as a mythical creature... I actually have a great book. I don't think I have it down here. It's on one of my bookshelves downstairs. But I actually got it at a Scholastic book fair a decade and a half ago. It's a compendium of different mythological creatures and monsters from around the world. And it actually has, like, proportions, like this is how tall, on average, this mythological creature is purported to be. Bigfoot is supposed to be quite large, and as a hominid, presumably his strength is going to be somewhat proportional to his size. Chimps are horrifying, and gorillas are horrifying, and Bigfoot is supposed to be bigger than both of them. By a decent amount. And also bipedal, which is an issue for you if you're going to try and run away from it. Because then, presumably, like humans, the Sasquatch would be a persistence hunter. And he's in better shape than any Homo sapien. So, I don't think you scared Bigfoot away. If Bigfoot was real, he could murder you like that. Thank you for coming to my TEDx talk on how much you could scare Bigfoot? Not very much. Buttershave says, if a tree falls in the forest and this lady was around to hear it, did Bigfoot make a noise?
It showed me that it was a far bigger, more powerful creature than I am.
Humans have the benefit of sweating. Maybe Bigfoot has large feet in order to dissipate heat through foot pads, similar to a dog. Headcanon accepted.
And, like,
if the SCP Foundation would like to contact me, I am available. So, hit me up.
That was it. Like, we were out. Like, there was no standing our ground, no trying to figure out what this was. And so, from this, I have formed my own belief that Sasquatch is a very powerful, intelligent, interdimensional being, which is why we don't have so many footsteps or so many physical traces of them, is that they can transcend the physical realm and literally just step into a tree or become unseen, but they are very, very powerful when it comes to energy fields and controlling those. And that's also why they're able to, like, go unnoticed, is that they just give people heebie-jeebies, so people...
How do you think that Bigfoot is producing energy fields? Like, how does that evolve as a defense mechanism? I'm pretty sure there's no other creature that we know of that does anything like that. So why would you think Bigfoot can do that?
Will go away and don't end up seeing them. And so that was... I mean, sometimes I refer to it as an unidentified large creature instead of a Sasquatch, but I mean, my belief is that it's a Sasquatch, and like I said, I had never done any research on Sasquatch, so it was interesting.
I made a bunch of shit up, you know, as you do. That's why I think he's got an energy field.
This, and they were like, "Oh yeah, of course." Like, Sasquatch uses like wood sounds to communicate. Or I ended up watching last year this documentary of like aliens and the alien and Bigfoot connection or something, and
it's so funny to me the derision with which she said aliens while she's talking about how she thinks Bigfoot is real. Jesus Christ. The double standards. It's always interesting to me where conspiracy theorists decide to draw the line, because conspiracy theorists always have conspiracies they believe in and other ones they do not believe in. And it's always so weird to see how they make that call.
Like, the conclusion of the film was basically what I had concluded on.
Bigfoot either knows tree stride or transport through plants, either way a powerful druid. Honestly, a Sasquatch druid would be a pretty rad D&D character if they let you do, like, I don't know, flavor or something, like a Furbolg as a Sasquatch, or made a custom homebrew Sasquatch race. That'd be good. Sounds like a fun campaign. Dr. Gamble says energy fields, so Cyber Squatch, and Mr. Whisker says Bigfoot poops in an interdimensional hole confirmed.
On my own years ago. So
I miss D&D. There's not going to be D&D for an unknown period of time.
I'm not alone.
Maybe never.
In these beliefs. I think it's pretty fun to believe, and it helps me make sense of strange vibes when I pick them up, which is pretty rare. But last year I was parked just a little further up the road, and I was in my van, and I was just chilling, and I didn't hear anything, but I felt this presence over the back of my van. This is when my bed was across the back, and I just felt this huge dark presence, way taller than my van, just looming over my van. And my heart started racing. It was scary. And then I just heard this one rap on the back window. It sounded like a massive knuckle, just one thunk on the glass. Oh, my heart. Wow. It was a really intense experience. And then since being back this year and spending time in this area, I've felt the presence really strongly, but I don't feel as unwelcome as I had before.
Hydrate.
I'm very aware of it, but I feel like somehow it's okay that I'm spending so much time around here. I mean, a lot of people spend time around here, a lot of people in the daytime. climb. It can be quite busy, but there's something else here. There's tons of wildlife, but there is something else. And the indigenous people of this area also have belief in Sasquatch. And so, yeah, I think there's something to it. And it was also interesting because a video came out about 3 days after my encounter of what people believe to be a Sasquatch crossing a glacier. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's enough with this story. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I think I'm gonna get out of here now and head back to the van and check on Frank.
Interesting person. Does she talk about anything else interesting? Probably not for this. I think she does camping stuff. That's weird, because clearly she spends a lot of time in the woods. How has she never heard a big branch break before? Very weird. Oh, she does the whole van life thing. Well, I hope she has fun with that. Overthought says it wasn't Sasquatch. If it was, she would have heard the Bee Gees. Oh, yeah. This is brief. This is fine. Underrated Disney film. Everyone go and watch a Goofy movie and cry. Whistle 34 says I had to look up Moose Knuckle. I regret that. Did you have to, or did you choose to? Really? Oh my god. Hans uploaded another video. It's a Bible one, though, so that's not interesting. Oh, shite. Didn't mean to do that. How about this Guardian piece on Flat Earther, the guy that drinks pee, but I don't think he drinks pee in this video, don't murder people over this, and the guy's like, we need to understand and empathize. It's alright, Bob's dead, so he's not gonna do any blood shedding. What was this one? Oh boy, we're starting off strong.
For you people that don't think that the vaccine, what they're calling a vaccine, is the mark of the beast.
Mark of the beast on the bingo card?
Why do you think they're implementing the CBDC? Look at this. Bank of Canada, central bank digital currency. Make your voice heard by taking part in our survey from May 8th to June 19th. Tell us what features matter most to you, as if they are asking. As if they are asking. They already have this plan to put out. This is part of the mark of the beast.
You guys think everything's the mark of the beast. You guys thought barcodes were the mark of the beast. You guys thought, what are those called? The chips that are in credit cards? Whatever, and RFID? You thought RFIDs were the mark of the beast? You guys think everything is the mark of the beast. You think vaccines are the mark of the beast. Now you think whatever this digital currency is the mark of the beast. Everything can't be the mark of the beast. If everything is the mark of the beast, then nothing is the mark of the beast.
This is the buying and selling part. First, you will need to be compliant. You will need to bow down and take what they're calling a vaccine.
What?
And then...
last time I checked, you don't need to be vaccinated to use money.
You will be able to operate in a beast system.
Like, I genuinely... And this isn't like an old video, I don't think. No, this was posted today. Like, are there literally any vaccine restrictions in Canada at this point? Like, I really don't know. But, like, it doesn't... We're in mid-2023. I don't think there are really restrictions anymore.
You will be part of Lucifer's race. But the thing is, it damns you when you take what they're calling a vaccine. It changes your DNA, and
it does not. Like, we are years out from the vaccine being, like, given to billions of people. It has changed 0 people's DNA. Auntie Pretzel says, but that's the thing, Hannah. They have to have an enemy, and that enemy is everything they hate, which is often fueled by Christian persecution complex. Yeah. Want to know how fucked up the Mark of the Beast nonsense is? Let's see. I won't take the mark, a Bible book, and contract for children. How much is this? $25? Too much. But I want this. I want this badly. I'm gonna add this to my list of Blu-rays and DVDs. Someone buy it for me. I love creepy children's books that are like anti-vax or really creepy Christian stuff. It comes with a notary. Oh my god. I want to know what the contract looks like. Where were we? We were on a video somewhere. There he is.
Damns you. And what they're doing here is they want complete control, and they may start it off that they don't require a vaccine, but it'll be a slippery slope. And eventually, you will not be able to operate in the banking.
Fuck. What about Bob tips $25 and says, get the book? Alright, hold on. You gave me the money for it, so I think I legally have to now. 1 second, I'll buy it. I'm just taking it off the screen so you can't see my Amazon details. God damn it. Wow, 1-day delivery. How exciting. It's ordered. That'll be here tomorrow, according to Amazon. I'll show you guys on stream when I get it. Where did the video? There it is. Tea with Goblin says, no, Hannah, you misunderstand. The vaccine mark of the beast isn't just a symbolic tattoo that grants economic access. It's a literal biological process. All those devilish spike proteins coagulating in my veins and bursting out through my pores into metallic currency like Magneto doing a jailbreak. Doing a grocery run is a very messy affair. I'll read it on stream when I get the book.
System in society without being completely compliant and bowing down to
I feel like that kids book Don't Take the Mark contract is the only contract less viable than the DARE contracts they would give you that are like, I promise to never smoke marijuana. Just statistically, the DARE contracts are probably like the most broken contracts, and honestly, they're not even legal contracts, because I was a minor, so I'm not bound by that DARE
beast system. Have your say about the digital Canadian dollar. Take survey. I can't even stomach to play this video. I'm sorry.
Kind of seems like a weird anxiety problem on your part.
Yeah, we see how well it's going in Canada. Trudeau, you have violated every single point of the Nuremberg Code. You are a mass murderer.
Comparing vaccine, or comparing public health measures to the Holocaust on the bingo card.
You need to be arrested, and you need to be tried for crimes against humanity, as well as all these other government officials, as well as CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, that's the news in Canada, Global News, as well as these doctors, these hospitals, these nurses, anyone that has administered this bioweapon that they're calling a vaccine. And here is the buying and selling part to the mark of the beast. See how they started off at first? It won't replace cash. Yeah, at first. at first. They need everyone on board first.
Even if they did do away with cash, I feel like people would come up with some other system to quickly trade things with each other. Either way, you can, like... I think the idea with, like, the digital dollar stuff is that you can easily transfer money to people, like, without having to use an app like Venmo or something. So you would just have, like, the app that the government puts out, and then you could use it to pay for things or to give people money. I do think part of it's definitely the government wants to keep track of as much currency as possible to keep people from avoiding taxes and stuff. I don't know. Either way, I don't think it's necessarily nefarious. It seems like a logical step to bring money into sort of a digital thing. And not like cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is bullshit. I'm just talking about a centralized currency kept track of by the government that is primarily online, that is primarily digital. I get that. Altered Undying says, I can confirm 2 types of kits most likely to be given to give me their soul for Alone in High School. Christian kids and atheist kids.
And then they strip the rights away. Tell us what you think.
This survey's got to be so full of conspiracy wacko responses. You're just gonna slowly take this goddamn survey?
I trust this method of payment will preserve anonymity of my transactions. Yeah. No.
Gee, thanks. Appreciate you slowly taking a survey that needed to be recorded. Want to hear some people faking some vaccine injuries because they're crazy?
Last December, so about a year ago, I interviewed 4 to 5 vaccine-injured people. Mainly, I think they were all from British Columbia. There was a woman, an elderly woman, who survived. Her husband didn't. He was dead within, I don't know, a week or 2 of the shot.
Correlation isn't causation on the bingo card.
She had a reaction, and I wasn't even expecting her to tell me I didn't know she was going to be saying what happened like this. And so she's talking about these demonic entities that were like coming at her. It started 15 minutes after the vax and lasted a couple of days. And I talked to her daughter and said, like, has your mom ever been diagnosed with like any mental diseases, schizophrenia, anything like that? She goes, no, my mom's perfectly healthy. She's never had any of these issues. She's telling the truth.
Maybe take her to a doctor. Just, you know, issues. There always has to be a first occurrence of an issue, you know?
And I was there while
I feel like as soon as your mom's like, I saw demons! Like, maybe look into it, is all I'm saying, you know?
She was acting crazy. So she recovered. Now, she's telling me about these entities that she saw. And more videos around the world are coming out of people looking over the right shoulder, freaking out. You'll notice in a couple of the ones I show you, their eye does exactly what Katy Perry's eye did, where one eye goes screwed up, or actually goes off to the right, just before they start circling and swatting at things and fighting things in the air.
So we got the shot on April the 8th, I think it was, a Pfizer, and then the trouble began.
Okay. What was the trouble?
Well, he didn't have as much of a symptom as I did. In that probably the same afternoon, I started to get so dizzy and sickly feeling, but the dizziness and what should we say, your brain seems to get into another place, and that was so discombobulating that I fell and broke my hip, my leg up.
The demons cause you to break your hip. Have you considered litigation against the demons? Tea with Goblin says, when I was an edgy goth teenager, I thought it was funny to try to convince people to sell me their souls. Had a little contract written up and all. My favorite of my Faustian bargains was my ex-girlfriend, who seethed with envy at me eating the last lollipop. Sold her soul to me for it. She signed. I handed over the desired sweet, and the pact was sealed. Then she dropped the lollipop. I laughed like a miniature Mephistopheles.
Up at the hip there. Then, of course, I went to the hospital, but by this time I had started being hallucinogenic, I guess, because I couldn't get out of this terrible space that my brain was in. That I was in a bad nightmare. Visually, I just kept seeing a bad black smoky thing and snakes and
who secretly spiked Grandma with acid,
and it looks like devilly creatures. They seem to me very evil. There seemed to be an evil component because these little things that were coming in my vision were they looked like undersea creatures, but they had a devilish look, and also
that's just prejudiced, okay? Tieflings, for instance, are devilish, but they're good people. Sometimes.
In the mix there was many snakes, and I got quite disgusted and feeling bad about that. The other thing that was really awful was this terrible smell. Now this wasn't just like a visual.
Did you check your Depends?
Image.
That might be quite sulfurous.
I felt that
at your age. Did you eat eggs recently?
I was right in this cave.
That joke is based on a true story, and the true story is my grandpa's egg farts.
Or smoky place. The smell was so awful, and I was really scared. I couldn't stop trembling and being scared. And my daughter, I had her on the phone because I wasn't feeling well, and she said I was stammering and I couldn't seem to speak. My head was just completely in an upset state. So after the doctor, of course, I had to go to the hospital with my broken hip leg, and it was broken right up near the hip there. Anyway, in the hospital, this continued on, and it was a better part of a week, and I was still feeling trembling and scared, and I couldn't really talk, and I couldn't see well. But the main thing was this terrible psychological fear that I had. It was the nearest thing I ever came and I could ever imagine to becoming suicidal, because it seemed like I couldn't get out of it, and it was just so awful that one evening in the hospital, one of the nurses, she sat and prayed with me because I said, I'm so scared, I don't know how I can go on, and she was very good, and I was blessing her. It seemed a little bit of a help, and then gradually after a couple more days it wore off a little bit, but the memory of it just even makes me feel bad now, because it was a terror moment, and the feeling that you just can't, you're just helpless. It was, I don't know what drug trips are like or like anything like that, but it was the worst sensation. But it was not just visual, the thing, it was so physical with me too, and I can't ever forget the bad.
Did you have a stroke? Did you have a series of strokes?
No, that went with it, and
like, I'm not even joking. It just sounds like she had some sort of severe issue that didn't get dealt with.
I don't remember sound so much, but it's just the fact that my whole body seemed to be cooked. And
cooked. They talk about that in the Bible too, at end times. People's bodies burning up from the inside out. The most interesting part of that interview I found was when she said, it literally was like I was somewhere else. The smell, these things coming at me. She said I was somewhere else. So this poor lady got the vaccine, and then like passed out and broke her hip.
I have nothing against this woman, the older woman. It sounds like she had some sort of health crisis. I do not believe it had anything to do with any vaccine. Unfortunately, as people age, their bodies tend to fail them on one level or another. Older people having issues falling and breaking their hip is so common, it's basically a meme. Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. You know, the life alert and stuff. That product exists for a reason, because as you get older, you're more prone to your body failing you or getting other health issues that might leave you incapacitated or in scary situations.
Okay, so yeah, it's really aggressive out there, highly energetic, and so everything is coming out. And so I know I focused on the skinny kids as immunocompromised because they don't have enough fat on their body, they don't have enough substance, even muscles on their body. But that's not the only ones that are going to be a sitting duck in this environment, especially with climate change and particle acceleration. It's also
especially with climate change and particle acceleration. Word salad on the bingo card.
So the muscly kids with that
fat kids, skinny kids, kids who climb on rocks,
are athletic, that are hardly have any fat on their body. And so when you're athletic, you have to have a very quick reaction time. And so like with ballet, you hardly have any fat. You're all muscle, so you can do your ballet stuff. When you're dancing out there, you have to have any fat on your body, only muscles, but you're supposed to be slim. Then you have those that are football players.
Why is she under the impression that people who don't have a lot of body fat are immunocompromised? What are you talking about?
Potentially even basketball players, hockey players, soccer players, football players. And they're full of muscle. So much muscle, hardly any fat. You think they're going to survive an aggressive environment such as this when they have quick reaction times and they have basically a closed system, because that's what they condition their body for, is to remedy away mucus and close up the body using cough suppressants, mucus suppressants, Imodium AD, not wanting to do any diarrhea.
Does anyone want to do diarrhea? I know Jillian does. For those who don't know, Jilly is the peddler of Jilly Juice, which is a fermented cabbage drink that she thinks is a panacea, and it also gives you crazy diarrhea, which she calls waterfalls, because she thinks that the diarrhea is a healing symptom, quote unquote, that gets all the parasites out of your body, because she thinks that like all disease is caused by parasites and like fungus or something.
Digestive issues, taking Pepto-Bismol and all the things over the counter. Even the athletes, the weightlifters, lifting weights. Can you imagine those that are lifting so much weights right now? And they don't have hardly any adipose tissue and immune system to help them block against all the different microbes that could potentially take over. There are some cultures that are mostly muscle out there that have issues with hypertension, issues with cardiovascular issues, the cardiovascular system. I mean, this is where now we have to look at culturally in the dance and sports industry, in the weightlifting industry, what we are potentially exposing our children to. So it's not just the skinny kids. that I was focusing more on.
Oh no, her brain is just fried from all the jelly juice.
Moron.
This is what drinking half a gallon of seawater every day does to you. It's not good. It shrivels your brain.
But it's also the athletic children. And they also have predisposed issues. They've inherited their parents' heart issues. They've inherited their parents' neurological issues. They've inherited their parents' nervous system issues. They've inherited their parents' digestive issues. They've inherited their parents' integumentary system issues, the hair, skin, and nails issues. And so literally it's the skinny kids, the muscular kids, the athletic kids. As this environment increases in its acceleration and more symptoms come up and more people are taking things to stop the symptoms or taking food away from not only themselves but they're also their children. So even the athlete,
I'm trying to follow a train of thought here, and it's just like I'm like an adult trying to catch the Polar Express. It's impossible because I don't believe in Santa. What is happening?
Are in danger. But we already knew this, but we knew how the system spun. The athletes dying on the field, they blamed it on the V's. That, again, like I said, was a very convenient scapegoat to misdirect you away from the root issue, which was not only starvation, but people that don't have enough immune system, called fat, adipose tissue. When I posted that article or that video about the need for adipose tissue, the fatty acids that not only absorb the shock between the skin and the bones, but also serve as an immunological barrier for the innate immune system. So it could signal to the rest for the innate skin and the bones, but also serve as an immunological barrier for the innate immune system. So it could signal to the rest of the body that it needed to produce proteins because it was under attack because of an opening, because of instability. There was foreign microbes and instability in the atmosphere, and it needed to produce proteins.
Okay, so I think what she just said is that she is saying that if you get like a cut or a scrape on your skin will tell your body there's a hull breach. You need to make some proteins to fight the bacteria or whatever.
And so, yeah, when you have your body triggered like that, because
Stone Corbell says it's like she's heard about health things, she's heard the words, but she doesn't actually know what they mean, and she's just stream of consciousness spouting health terms mixed with new age bullshit. Oh, you should read her book. It's just a whole book of this. It's really hard to read.
Because you now are under attack by so many microbes and you don't have enough immune system, enough protection, enough fat. Your body produces proteins like that. It clogs up the arteries and capillaries, and then athletes and even skinny kids, skinny kids, and anyone immunocompromised will not survive a heart attack or stroke, because a heart attack or stroke is like a defibrillator. It causes
a heart attack or stroke is like a defibrillator.
The body to go into an immunological electrical response to then
immunological.
It causes the body to go into an immunological electrical response.
Immunological electrical response.
To then force that.
My body's going to electrocute the bodily invaders.
Clot or whatever it is through the system. And it's like being
You think your body's gonna zap a blood clot with electricity?
Having your own defibrillating system. The electrolytes.
Do you know what a defibrillator does? It resets irregular heartbeats, heart rhythms.
But if you faint from a heart attack or a stroke, that's when they have to go get those defibrillators and recharge the system.
Does she think that defibrillators are for charging your body like a contact charger? It's Frankenstein logic. If someone's dying, you shoot electricity into them like Frankenstein's monster. Genius. Mr. Whisker says, are there like little bug zappers for germs all throughout the body? Basically, yeah. Mary Shelley was the real monster all along for writing a book.
To get the heart pumping again, to push everything through. But even the athletes, and I'm telling you, there are some cultures, I don't want to say too much, but we know that there's some cultures that were bred to be extremely muscular, hardly any fat. There is hypertension in the background as far as their predisposed issues.
I don't know why I decided to shit on Mary Shelley. That seems so uncalled for.
Cardiovascular issues, high blood pressure and low blood pressure issues, sickle cell anemia, and they are the ones that need to relax them.
Mary Shelley is said to have lost her virginity on her mother's grave. Did she say that, or was that just a weird rumor?
Pull out the programming, eat all food, and figure out how to redirect.
By that logic, a violet wand is a medical device. The doctor will see you now.
Their future. But again, we're seeing people that don't understand what the situation is. The climate has changed astronomically, and then we have the climate change deniers out there that say, oh no, climate hasn't changed. When it has, that was another propaganda, another misdirection, another campaign to have people fighting over whether or not we're in climate change or not. And so as a part...
We are. It's not really debatable from a scientific perspective at this point.
Particles are accelerating, and no one in the worlds of the athletes world and the diet worlds have changed the way they do things. And they're forcing their kids out there on the football field, the soccer field, the weightlifting field, the ballet field, all the different sports things in such an aggressive environment and on top of predisposed issues. You think there's going to be a high survival rate? No, you're going to be seeing kids and adults in the sports industry dropping like flies, as if you've been seeing it already, but they've been blaming it on the V's. And so, yeah, it's not just the skinny kids out there that are going to be a sitting duck. It's not just the sexualized kids, the skinny kids.
What?
That have food withheld for them because of all the food intolerance. It's also the athletes, the weightlifters, the ballet dancers, the Olympians, the marathon runners, the hikers. It's pretty much everyone that's been groomed for all the physical stuff. And as the environment increases in its intensity, you'll see a lot more people being
as the environment increases in intensity. Holy fuck, guys, this environment, it's so intense. Oh, that was not a good noise.
People afflicted. And I'm sorry if that's like, you know, if that is offensive to those who have invested their whole life in the sports. But if you want to survive all this, there's got to be a way to change. If you want to survive, or you just die on the field. But that's the rapture when you think about it. If you think about it biblically, that's the rapture.
What? Why did I pick Jillian? Why did I do this to myself?
Is that people's lifestyles and belief systems don't change, but the environment has changed. They don't realize that the environment outside, the climate, was the major influencer in their maturation rate the evolutionary rate, the sickness rate, all the cancer, disease, and chronic illness and autoimmune disorders, even the intellectual capacity, and then how you deal with instability and symptoms. And so when you're told, yeah, climate change is going to happen, and then someone tells you, oh no, they're just a lie, they're just trying to control you and keep you at home in 15-minute cities and 20-minute countries, and you have all those campaigns that were purposely put out there to distract you, and then you don't know what is what, you're still going to do the same thing over again, still invest in sports, in diets, in detoxes, and all that. You're not going to change. The environment has changed aggressively, and then we have people falling out left and right. Again, that was all by design.
Doesn't really feel like she put a, you know, I kind of feel like if I had to describe what the thesis statement of that video was, I think I'd struggle. Something, skinny kids don't have immune systems. I think that's about it.
Does it look like the movie They Live out there?
They live on the bingo card.
Of course it does. When we look up at the sky.
Does he understand that the movie They Live was a satire of 80s America? Capitalism in general, but it was very much a commentary on, like, Reaganomics and wealthy people taking advantage of the working class. Again, it's like the most thinly veiled metaphor in film history. It's a great movie, but it's not subtle. Because people in rural areas don't have the internet. I'm aware that there are plenty of places that still don't have high-speed internet. I'm just saying it's weird that they're implying that no one in rural areas have the internet.
There's something there. And we're all in danger.
When I was growing up, I had, because I lived in a rural area, the high-speed internet we got was a satellite internet, and it had a data cap. It was disgusting.
If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
See what I mean? Call to action. Call to action. Disgusting. Okay, let's find a cleanse. We've been going for 3 hours. Let's find something to cap this all off in a less depressing way. Did Sausage Guy do anything in the last 24 hours? Did you do the Funyun? We already did the Funyun sausage. How about this?
Spaghetto! We were somewhat successful last time, but it turned out it was too thick for the water to penetrate. But instead of calling it quits,
You live in a city and you still have a data cap? I'm very sorry, and I also appreciate that you're using some of your data to watch me, considering it's like a limited resource for you. My god, I couldn't even do my job if I had a data cap. Like, it would be impossible.
doubling down. So this time we're gonna make spaghetti globe. Don't breathe this. Good enough. You teach me and I'll teach you. Spaghetti globe. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Spaghetti globe. Oh God. Oh God. Well, we're gonna need a little prayer on this one.
There's no way that holds together. It's gonna all fall apart immediately.
Oh, there goes that other.
Oh my god, it didn't.
It's
Holy
still
shit.
holding together, so we're just gonna keep going, I guess.
It's just
I
a
walked
big
away for
ball of starch.
too long.
Carb sphere.
I don't know if we can fix this. Back in the Pokeball you go. Hot. Well, first of all, shut.
It's just carb mush.
It basically all fell apart. Now we're just gonna let that cool off. Look at you. Now that's an unspicy meatball. We've come this far. Don't you think we should fry it?
Should have battered it.
Well, that accomplished almost nothing.
Use cheese. Cheese sauce.
Wait, no. We were gonna break it in half anyway, but not like this. Not like this. Okay, spaghetti globe. Here we go. It tastes like, little pieces of spaghetti with cold tomato sauce on it. Kind of a lot of effort for not a whole lot. I'm gonna have to give Spaghetti Globe a 2.5 out of 5.
Bop, 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 bop.
Jesus. Alright. That was fun. Thanks everyone for coming to another Tinfoil Tuesday. I appreciate it as always. I'll be back tomorrow, maybe for some Chud Watch. Been a while since the last Chud Watch. I'm trying to do it more often, so that would be good. Oh, Quest Authority's on. We haven't been able to raid Quest Authority in a while, and he's just starting. Beautiful. Alright, love you too, Mr. Blast. Have a great night, everyone. I hope you... I hope all your dreams come true. In the next 24 hours. I said it, and I'm on the internet, so it has to happen. Alright, have a good night, everyone. See you guys later.